The 8th of August, 1914, the day the bombs fell. Tears, blood, limbs, brains dispersed around my home. My friends, my family, gone. And it was on that day where I vowed to myself that nothing would get in my way of taking over YouTube.
Keith was a kind fellow, gave to charities all the time, really religious person actually. You wouldn't have ever thought it, but he was. He came back after the war, looked me in the face and said, "God is dead."
On August 10th, 1915, after over a year of ferocious war, the Battle of the Bucket finally reached its conclusion.
Kill-casualty ratio was about 68.59%. Total cost was around $12.38 billion. The ruins of Tafkar City, the Healy headquarters, the Valenkov Valentine store, the Sousa production facility, all places that were lined with bodies.
All of this pain, suffering, and devastation seemed to have no end until one man said enough was enough. Keith Healy, Unit 7, a messenger boy. Later on, a lieutenant of Unit 7.
Let me tell you something about Keith. When everybody in the unit saw him, people didn't think much. Thought he was going to be probably going to end up as a messenger boy or in the food hall, something like that. I was on recon with a unit that were scouting enemy forces, and we saw Keith in the distance who gotten captured running a package. There must have been 5 guys, and he just, one by one, just got rid of them.
I did not kill more than what I needed to kill. Not in more, not in less. I done what I needed to do.
I swear to God, I saw the man rip a man's fucking spine out.
Life, however, was not always this violent for Keith, as he grew up in a small town with small beginnings.
I first met Keith way back in 1875. It was a beautiful time. Thomas Einstein just invented the ceiling windmill. Me and Keith were walking down the road. In fact, we lived on the same street, actually.
Yeah, me and Scott were pretty much inseparable. We grew up together. We, from the second we met each other, we were pretty much best friends from there on out. We barely ever got into fights, and when we did, it was very lighthearted. And, we pretty much spent our entire childhood together. So the day the bombs dropped, I was out hanging around with Nick, and I just heard this gigantic bang and smoke coming from must have been like 2 miles away. And I realized that was the direction of my house. So me and Nick, we ran as fast as we could up home, and that's when we saw it. That's when we saw my home. My house completely destroyed. I could see my dog's head under me, and my family disintegrated, gone in a split second. It was then when I looked at Nick and I was like, I can't enroll. This has gone too far. The war has been going on for like, I don't know, 2 months at this point, and at this point I was like, those fucking goddamn Reds need to go. They need to die. And that's when I decided to enroll. My friends, my family, I had nothing else left to live for. Why wouldn't I enroll? Why wouldn't I want to fight and get revenge on these motherfuckers for taking away my life, taking away my family? Goddamn right, they were gonna pay. And that is why I decided to enroll. Shortly after his enrollment, Keith wasted no time soaring through the ranks, slaughtering the enemy opposition one by one. Some consider his actions as overly cruel and dangerous. Others argue that the war could not have been won without him.
Generals gathered in their masses, just like witches at black masses. Oh Lord, yeah!
You ever see a man rush a line of 100 men wearing nothing but a fucking cloth over his nuts and a dagger in his mouth and just a sword? Dude ran as fast as any horse I'd ever seen. We were in the training camp, right? We were all going through the gun course. And that fucking Keith, he did the fucking gun course with no guns and beat all of our scores.
He killed most of us, the bastard. I tried to snipe him, but he just disappeared and appeared elsewhere, and basically rained his fire from there. It was terrible.
I couldn't control myself. I had a single bullet left in my Nerf gun. I looked to my left and my right. My friend's Nerf guns were still there. I picked them up. I was wielding 3 Nerf guns at this point, and I destroyed every last single fucking red I saw. You know what? Felt good.
So first you open the barrel, you put the BB in, you shut it, you close it, and it goes like this.
Due to budget shortages, these were the primary weapons used by the Irish during the battle. Weapon shortages were said to be common on the Irish side.
You know, when I was first deployed, there was a shortage on weapons. This was all they gave me. I held this. I held on to it with my dear life. But you know what? You gotta wonder, after so much blood, how much of it's worth it.
I decided not to fight because we were at different standpoints. I favored the red, and he favored the blue.
Scott, Nick, whatever you want to call him, didn't decide to enroll because basically he's a coward. I don't care what way he sugarcoats it when you ask him, but he was a coward. An insufferable coward.
Words transpired, things happened, ugliness was said, and we didn't leave on the best note, and I suffered many nights thinking that was the last words that I would have ever spoken to him.
He saw my family die in front of me, and just because his family weren't killed, he decided, hey, this war isn't worth it for me. He didn't want to join. He didn't want to join his friend, his lifelong friend. That was pretty much enrolling his life, giving his life for his country. Nick didn't want to do that. Nick didn't see the point in the war. A war of a bucket, what's the point? The point was these motherfuckers killed my family. But Nick just brushed that under the rug. Just said what everyone else said, it's over a bucket.
It really hurt me in my heart, I tell you. And eventually, he just became less and less of a man that I ever remembered him to be. Not social, not anything really weird. Something about toothbrushes. It ended up getting really, 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 really bad.
So the turning point in the war really was Unit 7 and I were getting our asses kicked. We had at least 500 casualties on this one battle. And I was in a trench in a bush. And there was two people to the side of me, two very good friends that I've made very good friends with. And the Reds just came out of nowhere. They came out of nowhere with their skewer guns and just skewered one of my friends' heads right up. Right through that part, their chin. It was pure adrenaline, pure rage, pure anger. I destroyed every single last one I saw, and single-handedly, I think, won the battle. The turning point of the war. That's when the Reds started to retreat. They didn't win a battle after that one.
Well, I'd finished up with my daily record keeping, and I volunteered to help some of the medical staff round up the wounded. And when I went in there, I was helping, I was lifting people up, putting them in the carts, helping get them out of the battlefield. And I saw a man sitting just around a pile of bodies with an unloaded pistol in his hand. And I went up to him and I went, "Sir, are you okay?" He just kind of looked at me. I could read his dog tag. It was Keith. The dude just didn't look all right. I started grabbing up the bodies around there and loading them into the cart, and he didn't say anything, but he started helping me.
After that fiasco, I was promoted to lieutenant and pretty much commander. They called me lieutenant, but I was pretty much the commander of Unit 7, and we just raped the Reds from there on out. We just completely destroyed them. We completely fucked their world up, and eventually they couldn't cope anymore and surrendered, and we won back the bucket. The bucket was ours, and the war was over. A year-long war of pain and suffering ended, and I was very happy.
Does it really matter when you've got? Does it really matter how long you've been in there when you've got conscripts there with professional guys? You've got boys taking off their fucking boys who've never been 10 miles from home, suddenly 1,000 miles away, fighting over whatever the fuck we were fighting for.
A fucking bucket.
After the war, I this was around 1915. August 1915, I think, and I was looking through the papers for job listings because what was I going to do now? I mean, I had no job before, and then I enlisted. That was a year of my life, and I came back after the war now, and I was looking into papers for jobs, and it's just nothing that caught my eye. And like, then I saw this article about from this like kind of I don't know, this kind of future teller, this fortune teller. And he said there's this website that was going to be created in 2006, 2005. Don't remember the exact dates, I apologize. And he said it was going to take over the world, it was going to be massive. And I was like, if this does happen, I'm going to be on this. And lo and behold, it happened. In 2008, I was a bit late, but I decided to make my channel then. And I decided right then and there that I was going to make this work. I was going to make this fucking be my thing.
Found out about it about 2 years ago. We re-met each other again on a social media site.
Nick, we made up. We didn't become friends again. It was never the same. But we made up. We forgave each other, forgave and forgot, and we decided to become business partners.
It took off again, and I started working with him again, but he just never was quite the same. He was a really scientific person now. He wasn't as religious as he used to be before the war. It seems he's a very cynical bastard now.
I was browsing through the internet. I stumbled across a hive mind of cancer, scum, and villainy. And in that, I saw a little boy with a twinkle in his eye.
He advertised it quite often on the telly, all across the world actually, but most countries didn't give a fuck. I saw it on all of our channels. It was basically a victor using all his powers to advertise his deeds. So some of us actually believed that he was the good guy and subscribed. It's hard to deal with those people because you lost. You don't have any power to tell them to shut the fuck up and unsubscribe. My own comrades, they are subscribed to Keith now, and it's so sad.
The main goal is just to do stuff for fun. That's what it always has been, and it's just always going to be, because that's what we do, you know. I think his legacy is going to be the guy who did Jack and Daxter videos on YouTube and did them very well.
Keith I don't think he wanted any of that. He didn't want any of that grandeur. He didn't want any of that prestige or renown.
He doesn't want that greatness. That's not what he craves out of life. What he craves out of life is to simply have enough.
My plans? Fame, fortune, YouTube domination. I want to be the biggest channel on YouTube.
He doesn't have the willingness to really want to become greatness.
I want to be the absolute best at this, and I'm not going to sleep until I do it. I want this more than anything in the world. This is the only thing I've ever wanted, the only thing I've ever needed, and the only thing I will ever need in my life.
Keith, you think you're unbeatable. You think you cannot be touched. But just you wait, man. Just you wait. I will find the Ice Wizard, and your ass will be grass. Green grass. Just like your homeland.
I'm not gonna stop until I am number 1 on YouTube. And hell, maybe we'll even go further than that. 1,000 subscribers? That's just a start, man.
So, I mean, His legacy, we don't need a legacy. We don't need a legacy.
After that, it's not but up from here. And I am not stopping anytime soon.